there, I'm Birch-James of Art in the Heart, the online marketplace. I'm known here as the Arty Biz Teacher, and my YouTube channel is for artists, makers and crafters who sell or want to sell their work. I give tips and advice, and I sometimes tell stories. I'm very, very practical in my approach, but sometimes I give lots of psychological perspectives. So today I'm going to tell you the 7 reasons why quite a few artists and makers find it really difficult to market and sell their work. So stick around. Hi there again, and thanks for joining me. So today I'm going to tell you the 7 reasons why artists, makers and crafters find it really difficult to market and sell their work. So let's get to it. Okay, so reason number 1 is an artist or maker might not have worked out who they are as an artist. So they haven't really sat down and thought, what is unique about my own narrative? What is my narrative? And if they don't know that, they can't really communicate effectively with their audience. If they can't say who they are, then how is an audience supposed to know? 2, some artists have what I would say a disdain for selling their work. And that, unfortunately, is communicated to their audience. So they're a little bit standoffish. Now, there are a number of very, very famous artists who have complete disdain for their audiences. But they can get away with it because actually the disdain for their audiences has become part of their narrative. And the buyers kind of like it. But where you might be, best not to show any disdain for selling, that you think it's a bit dirty selling your work, because that, without you knowing, will be communicated to your prospective buyer. And that's not good because it's really negative. And trust me, the top artists, nearly all of them without exception, have had dealers and galleries selling their work for them for hundreds of thousands of pounds, and they actually quite like that. A lot of artists and makers are inextricably linked to their work. So number 3 is how the artwork or the piece of craft becomes actually linked with the artist's ego. Now, when something starts getting mixed up and entwined with an ego, it becomes problematic. Because what happens is if the ego is very sensitive. So if the ego is sensitive, then you might shy away from putting your work out there, because if somebody says something that you don't think's quite right on, or you don't think's quite right about your work, and your ego's fragile, it's going to stop you selling your work. So your ego has to be quite robust. So that's something you might like to think about. Reason number 4. Artists and makers, sometimes they have real difficulty in understanding the difference between talking about their work and a selling narrative. Talking about your work in a selling narrative, actually, the ideas are pretty much the same, but it's your objective that has changed. So the first one is you're perhaps seeking positive engagement about your work. But the second one, you're actually wanting a person to buy your work, and that is totally different. Reason number 5, some artists, makers and crafters, they're very self-effacing. Some of them are actually self-deprecating, and there's this sort of innate lack of confidence when they're standing near their work, and they're sometimes very apologetic. And this is because they mix up boasting about their work and talking selfishly about their work with using a narrative to sell their work And the two things are totally different. Number 6 is some artists and makers, they confuse a selling narrative with lying. This is totally not the case. The best artist and maker narratives are born of authenticity and originality. But it's the way you use that narrative, you use what's going on to actually sell your work. So they talk and talk and talk, but they're not picking up the signs from their audience or their prospective buyer whether they actually want to buy this piece or not. And they definitely miss the signs as to when they need to use what we call the close of sale phrases. So when you're wanting to sell something, your narrative is not a lie, it doesn't change, but it takes on a different form. There's a different aim, a different objective, and then towards the end of your narratives and talking, you are feeling what the other person is feeling, and then you get to the point that you need to use your sentences to actually close a sale. I'm going to be doing more uploads on how you close a sale, because I think that would be quite useful for some of your artists and makers. And I do appreciate, it is really difficult, even when you're selling things that you haven't made yourself and your ego's not in it. You've still got that, you've still got to build up that confidence and that technique. So to finish up, I have just got to tell you this story. I was standing near the stall of a potter, a ceramicist, and there was a customer there, and I just thought, I'm going to hang around here and I'm going to listen to this exchange. And it's, I wish I hadn't listened to it. So this woman had actually decided that she was going to buy this pot. And what the guy did, what the actual maker did, he just carried on talking about this pot. He was just talking about the intricate this and the intricate that, and it got really boring. And the woman was nearly nodding off, and he was totally oblivious. And I thought, mate, you really need to shut up now. You've sold the damn thing. Just shut up. And then, so she was losing interest, and he was really lucky she didn't walk off. And then she spotted another pot, and she wanted to buy that one. Now, I thought, let's see now. He could have sold 2 pots, and he only just scraped buying one. So instead of him saying, oh yes, this pot, it's this series of mine, and this is really unique, and I've really developed this, what he actually said was, I wasn't quite pleased with this bit, and it's a little bit different to the one that you've bought. Not actually, I think that would go really nicely with that one you've bought, or it would stand as a nice little statement piece in another room. He wasn't giving any selling narrative whatsoever. And he just stood there again, telling her what was wrong with the damn pot. In the end, of course, she didn't buy it. And he was also apologetic about the price. Well, I don't know whether I should have asked that much for this pot. And I thought about this guy, and I thought, why have you actually got a stand? Why don't you just stand in a room with a load of other potters and just, talk about your pots and then go home? So, yes, I've stood at other ceramicists' tables, and they're really good at selling. So I hope you found that anecdote useful. I felt like jumping in, just saying, no, go over there and I'll sell you pots. But there we have it. So I hope you found that. Sorry. I'm going to go shopping in a minute, and I'll wear my mask. Quick plug. Fine Artist mask, Art in the Heart. Susie Lidston Fine Art. On the face masks. Any excuse to buy something nice. So yes, if you've So if you've enjoyed today's content, then it would be great if you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, because then you'll know when I have uploaded new content. Also, if you want to pursue these topics a little more, then I do online Zoom tutorials. So just contact me, Dawn at artintheheart.co.uk, and I'll give you that link to the website where you can see all the dates. There's 4 different tutorials at the moment that are really useful for marketing and selling your work. They're only £5, so you can do that. Also, I do personalised services as well. So, for example, if you would like me to help you articulate your unique narrative, then contact me again on dawn@artintheheart.co.uk. I'm doing a lot of plugs today. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and I hope you've really enjoyed understanding the 7 reasons why some artists and makers find it difficult to market and sell their work. Bye, see you next week.